The Tale of Dark Forest by Shannon.Kayleigh.Lusk, also known as Subtle Shenanigans. Prologue. Dust motes floated visibly in the shafts of sunlight slanting through half-closed blinds. The room was lit in dim gold from the rays, softly framed with shadows. The atmosphere was cozy, if not cheerful. It was perfect for storytelling. An older she-creature sat on a stuffed chair, shadowed in various tones of gold and brown. She regarded the three young ones before her. They were an interesting bunch, and the children of her only son. Two of them gazed at her with wide, amber eyes full of eager excitement. They were alike in every aspect, being twins, the only difference being that one was male and one female. Their fur was a golden yellow color, their build that of a lion. The male had thick neck fur that would probably never grow into a full mane. They were heavy-set creatures, and most would assume that their parents were a pair of lions. But, of course, she knew otherwise. Despite knowing what sort of creatures that they had been born from, she could denote the certain aspects that came from their heritage by their physical appearance alone. They were both a decade old. The third was also a male, 2 years older than his siblings, but no more mature, and much stranger in appearance. He contrasted darkly against their sunny pelts with his rich, dark brown fur scattered with spots. From neck, flowing down his chest, and even his stomach was rich, creamy fur. His muzzle, which scowled, white fangs gleaming, his paws, tucked under his crossed arms, and his ears, flattened in annoyance, were all a rich, dark black. Even his eyes were strange. They were oddly colored and lined with black, the left a deep blue, and the right an earthy brown. To top off his strangeness, he had dark rosettes blotching along his spine in a sort of stripe. Down to his tail, a long, bushy broom of brown, with 3 black rings and a black tip. He was an odd creature, but so much like herself, the older creature thought. The little she-lion interrupted her thoughts with an inquiry of, "What story are you going to tell, Grandma?" The older male hybrid muttered something along the lines of nothing good. His younger brother responded by sticking his tongue out at him, and his twin sister joined in. A growl rumbled out of the hybrid's throat, but their grandmother stopped their spat by scolding them for their behavior. Then she scolded him, saying he could voice his opinion, but not to be rude about it. Once they had settled, she released a tired sigh. She had chosen a tale, but she still wasn't sure if they were ready to hear it, if she was ready to tell it. She glanced over her shoulder, her gaze directed at something hanging on the wall. The twins saw it and giggled excitedly. Even the strange male pricked his ears in interest. They'd never been told the story, but they'd always wondered, ever since they'd been coming to their grandmother's home. When next she spoke, it was in a clear, strong voice that denied age, and it caught the attention of all 3 of her grandchildren. Near the end of summer, the month after the solstice, and years after the tyrant grabbed hold of our land in claws of iron, he became restless with his rule. This is where we shall begin our story. Imagine the land, its dark swath of green, as the red-tailed hawk does from his land of blue. This is our home, and these are things that happen here, before even your father was born. This, my dear grandchildren, is the story of Surus the Moonblade, and the events that led her to battle against darkness. This, and only this, is the tale of Dark Forest.